We have chosen to represent Durisol wall form, which is manufactured in Ontario, Canada, which is actually within our bioregional and makes us feel a bit better about supporting the local manufacturer. But that was one of the reasons why we chose them. The other reason we chose them is because the block itself is made out of recycled wood chips. There's a little bit of Portland cement integrated into the mixture of wood chips and borax to give it its form, and then it's formed and really works well and integrates well, shaped and couples well with its brothers and sisters. What am I trying to say here, man? Sometimes these things in the past, we used to represent a different company that didn't have the perfect form every time, so you had to do a little bit of work, get a knife out and shave it to make sure that they were really compatible.
Oh, that's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, this one is just, the dimensions are really accurate and they fit together really well. And you don't have to necessarily be a mason in order to install these systems. A lot of contractors are doing it themselves just with their own carpenters. They can use just circular saws to cut these things. It's a simple cut with a circular saw. And they'll stack the blocks as long as they're plumb and straight and even and things of that nature. It's really simple. And then in between the courses, they'll just use a bead of caulk or a bead of adhesive just to make sure they well together. And we always encourage to use our Chemlink Build Secure. It's a low VOC adhesive.
No sloppy mortar or anything?
No mortar. The other great thing about these systems, unlike the ICFs in the industry, are notorious for having uneven walls, and it's often because you stack these polystyrene cells forms together, and then when they pour the concrete into the core, they'll blow out at the bottom, and all the pressure will take these polystyrene forms, and they'll come apart, and then they'll try to put them back together, and by the time the concrete is cured, the wall is no longer straight. So one of the nice things about these systems is that they're a little bit heavier, more bulky system, and when you do actually pour your concrete into the core, there's very little chance that the block is ever going to blow out and then become an unstraight or unlevel wall.
So the concrete is poured into the core of these.
Yeah.
And we've got insulation.
Yeah. So most ICFs, most insulated concrete forms are made out of polystyrene, and they have a great R value because the polystyrene, which is on either side of the concrete, is a great insulator. On this particular system, we have the concrete poured into the core, but the insulation is in this mineral wool insulation, which again is a more natural insulator than is polystyrene. But it's all located to the outside of the building. So when you actually pour your concrete into the core here, you've then created a cementous material that is structural and holds the roof up above the building, but it also has thermomassive properties. So it actually has the ability to store thermal energy. So if you're inside the building and you have your furnace and your HVAC system on the inside of the building, all the energy, the thermal energy that's being created in heat or in coolness, can be stored in this thermal energy storage cementous core right here. That's unique and different from all the other blocks in the industry, because most ICFs have another polystyrene insulator on the inside of the block, which then isolates the thermal massive core from the heating and cooling source inside the home. So not only does this block provide resistance to heat loss measured in R value, but it also provides thermal energy storage capacity that other blocks in the industry don't provide. That's one of my favorite things. It does have a little bit of borax in the blend of concrete and wood chips, which then makes it mold and mildew resistant, and also gives it a 4-hour burn rating. And because it has a 4-hour burn rating, it's not required by code to actually drywall the system. It does. It's already got its fire retardant ability built into it, so it's not necessary that you finish the wall. So below grade and basements and things like that, you can just keep it unfinished if you choose to. Saves a little bit of money. Yeah, this is a 12-inch by 12-inch by 24-inch block, which I guess represents 2 square feet, and it's going to cost about $11. So it's kind of expensive, but remember that it's providing insulation. You've already got a wall that has insulation. You've got a wall that has a substrate you can immediately mount drywall or exterior wall, exterior siding to. No furring strips or anything like that.